Hello and welcome to this live MTD podcast from MACH 2022. We're streaming this live across YouTube, LinkedIn and Facebook from our stand here in Hall 19, position 527. So if you are at MACH at the moment and you want to come over to the Swarf and Chips Bar, you're more than welcome to come and watch and even participate like these gentlemen that I have alongside me. Now, important to say before we get going, this podcast is sponsored by our Interco, Special Steels and Alloys. Now, Interco is one of the largest independent distribution and stockholders of special steels and alloys, with over how many pounds worth of stock, Joe?
£18 million, believe it or not.
Of available stock to support its customers' every need. Now, with high levels of stock like this, it's means they can quickly turn around delivery of items worldwide, whether it be road or sea. And they've got over 22 grades of stainless, tool steel, nickel alloys, including solid round bars, plate, cold sawn blanks and rings are available. And they do boast the ISO 9001 quality management system, and they're very committed and proactive teams to find solutions for your raw material needs. So you can find Interco by visiting their website, interco.co.uk. Okay, gents, first day, MACH 2022. I have with me today, I'm Paul Jones, the Managing Director and founder of MTDCNC.com. I have Joe Reynolds, I have Mark Dedman, and I have Alec Warner from Star GB. Now, important to stress out this podcast, there's going to be a little bit of rotation. We're going to be bringing new people on. We've got lots of people that want to join in the podcast, and what I will say is we'll be doing this every night now through until Friday. So if you either want to come and watch, it's Hall 19, stand 527, or you can even come and contribute and join in. We will be taking your questions and comments and shout outs throughout the stream. So if you put them in whichever platform you're watching, we'll give you a shout out. Going to go down the row. Joe, you had a good day today?
Wow, what a day. 4 years, would you believe? 4 years since we've been in these halls. Fantastic day.
What you done?
Well, that's put me on the spot. No, we've had a great day, haven't we? Been on the Star GB Live I've been on today, talking about the 38 mil slider, fantastic machine. But it's just great to be back in these halls, talking with like-minded people, friends.
Good stuff. Mark, yourself?
Busy day today. We started off with Hexagon Live, and courtesy of their beautiful donuts. So if you are coming to MACH, grab one of those. They're really good.
These are better than your hot dogs, Alec.
Oh, there.
We'll leave you one anyway. But no, we've done. I'd say Hexagon was fantastic. Talk about metrology, their design software, as most people know, and the integration. And then jumped over to meet Katie Archibald, giving the Hope bike away at Sarah Tissett.
So who won the bike? Can you?
Yeah, it's got a guy called Dave, and the company I think was somewhere down the south in Portsmouth. Anyway,
yeah,
that narrows it down.
It does. I'm sure they'll.
Congratulations to you down south.
He's coming here tomorrow, actually. So good news.
Now, before I bring Alec into this, just importantly, if you don't know, and this is the first time you've been watching one of our videos today, every day this week we're streaming live 5 times a day. One at 9, one at 11. 1 at 1, 1 at 3, and then this live podcast at 4:30. You can check the website MTDCNC.com to find out exactly the locations of where we're going to be. One of which today was on the Star GB stand. We were there from 11 till just before 1 o'clock. I spent a good half an hour with Alec touring the stand. That video is on YouTube, and it is on the MTDCNC website as well. Alec, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Just maybe introduce yourself like you did earlier as to who you are and what you do at Star GB, and who Star GB are for those that don't know.
Okay, I'm Alec Warner, Operations Manager at Star GB. We are market leading sliding head lathe supplier. Machines are manufactured in the Far East, and we are the sales and service distributor for UK and Ireland.
And how good has MACH been for you today?
It's been very good. For the first day, to be fair, of a trade show, we've had decent number of visitors on our stand. Everybody's been really interested in the new technologies that we've had on show. We've literally got no parts left in any of the parts bins because people keep picking them up and running off with them. But yeah, it's been really good for the first day.
Well, I have actually asked Ash to bring over a Star Sabre and a Star 2D2. Now, if you come into MACH this week, you need to go on the Star stand to see what I would class and what we've spoken about today is engineering excellence. Now, you'll know their machines, sliding head technology, how far it's advanced in recent years, but it's not just about the machines. It's about what you provide when it comes to engineering a solution. that's a big part of what you're promoting this week, Alec.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we're renowned for our sort of turnkey engineering that we do. We have to do that for a lot of new customers to slide in their technology anyway, but we also do it for repeat business when customers want to hit the ground running with, several parts preset, pre-programmed, tooled up, ready to make some money out of the Star machines.
Gio, who's going to join us shortly, talks about your machines as being one of the most profitable sort of machines you can buy, thanks to the unmanned running, thanks to the speed of production. Is that true?
I think so. I think the automated unmanned side of it, that's part of Star's DNA, always has been, always will be. And the new technologies that we're introducing now are basically to enhance that, increase that available amount of unmanned running that customers can benefit from on the difficult machine materials. So.
Yeah, sorry, Paul. Just looking at I was looking at the SX38 today, and it's essentially you've got a customer down south who's using it essentially as a VMC. Using bar feed and just doing prismatic components they used to do on a VMC.
Yeah, it's amazing how many customers now are sort of switching on to prismatic parts that can be made on sliding head lathes. We've been doing it for years, but now I think these channels also open people's eyes of what's available and what can be done on sliding head machines.
Go on, Mark.
What I was going to say is that I've walked around your stand. How many machines have you got? I mean, it's quite a number, isn't it?
We've got 10 in the halls. We've got a machine on Floyd's, we've got a machine on solid cam, and we've got 8 machines running on our stand.
I mean, that's a big commitment, isn't it? But I suppose the technology that you've got at the moment, it really sort of lends itself to be here.
Yeah, we always try to have a decent presence at MACH, to be fair, and our stand size compared to 4 years ago has gone down a little bit, but it's still nearly 400 square metres, so it's a decent size stand.
And you're cutting, I think importantly to mention, if you visit Star's stand, you'll see the Star 2D2, which we will get on this podcast.
I need one.
We will get one on this podcast. You're cutting some stainless on these machines, which they're more than capable of, unmanned running. And you're actually cutting some parts that are sort of 60-70% milling, like Joe mentioned, which again just illustrates that these machines aren't just for turning round bits, are they?
It's probably 90% milling on 2 or 3 of the parts, to be fair.
I was never good with my maths.
we know that.
But yeah, the parts do showcase the milling capability as well as the turning capability of the machines that we've got available.
Good stuff. What's your expectation for the rest of the week, Alec?
Well, hopefully we can sell a few machines, get more inquiries in the bag, and open people's eyes to the sort of technology that we can offer and the service that we can provide.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks.
We have got, James, do you want to come over and join us?
Alec,
thank you very much, Alec.
You're welcome, guys.
We will see you. We're streaming as well from Star's stand on Wednesday from 1 till 3. We'll be looking at all the machines on show there too. And again, once again, those applications. But if you can get to MACH, then you need to visit the Star GB stand to see all the latest in sliding head technology. James, welcome to the podcast. We started everything with you this morning at 9 o'clock. What's your reflections on day one?
Where's the day gone? I mean, it's been really good for us. We've had a load of people turn up and register, so we've got new visitors. We've had people registering for the later days in the week, and we've had some really good numbers through the door. Monday is traditionally always a bit quieter, we expect that. But also what's been really great is everyone's been catching up. We've had exhibitors talking to exhibitors. There's a lot of people within the supply chain at the show. And it's just had a real buzz about it, and it feels like we are back. MACH is back.
Yes, it is. You two have enjoyed it. What have you got to say to James? And again, Mark, could you just move your microphone a little bit closer to your mouth?
Yeah, I will do, actually. It's the donuts that put me off, actually. But, yeah, I mean, my first MACH was 1992. That's 15 shows.
Before I was born.
I'm sorry about that.
It's not.
Me too.
I started my apprenticeship 2 years later.
And obviously everything's developed, isn't it, into these halls now, James. But to have the show, obviously 4 years, I think there's a real buzz. And I think you guys at the MTA, I think you've really achieved something that obviously a few months ago you're thinking, isn't it, sort of thing. But it's been really good so far.
I think massively, and we've had, Catherine Bennett opened our seminar programme today, and she's been talking about how the industry has come together over the last 4 years, and the resilience and all the other bits to do with the industry itself, and that's completely reflected here and is now part of the show. So yeah, couldn't agree more.
I've been doing a bit of reflecting like I like to, Mr. Jones, and some things have happened in the last 4 years. So since the last MACH exhibition, of course, we're no longer in the EU. We won't talk about that for too long. Kanye West ran for president in the United States. We've had Will Smithgate or Slapgate or whatever you want to call it. And of course, the dreaded COVID-19. It's incredible, isn't it, what's happened in the last 4 years? But how great is it to be back?
Happened as well, though.
Yeah. But it's great to be back, isn't it? Along like-minded people, friends, acquaintances.
It's all about networking at the end of the day, isn't it? I mean, we're all passionate about our industry, and I think you feel that when you walk around the stands, don't you, and down the halls.
Now, I would like to say as well, and I'm sure James will reiterate this, the show is on all week this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, from 9 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Just remind us how many exhibitors you've got here and the technologies that people can see that if they do visit here, the NEC in Birmingham.
So we're just shy of 500 exhibitors. We've got technology covering all sorts of manufacturing. So whether that's your more traditional metal cutting or forming, all the way through to metal-based additive manufacturing, metrology, there's welding sections, supply chain areas. We're covering that whole raft of manufacturing and engineering. And make sure you just get registered. You can walk straight in with your badge and we're away.
And have you ever seen, I know this is on display on Star's stand. This is a Star Saber, James.
Incredible.
Have you ever seen one of these before?
I have not.
You've not. So all of this is made on a Star sliding head lathe. Every part, and this was actually something they did for an open house last year. But if you visit Star's stand, this is the sort of thing that we spoke about earlier. Joe, you could probably be quite dangerous.
Yeah, well, I must admit, I've got the predecessor at home. I probably shouldn't say that, but in my office at home, I've got the one from the last MACH. But yeah, it's if my son's watching, he'll want this. So.
It's all done on one up, is it?
Yeah.
And this is a Star 2 D2 as well. All the parts are made on the Star sliding head lathe, or the Star sliding head lathes that are actually on show up their stand if you come to MACH 2022 this week. James, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Mark, thank you for joining us as well. I'm going to bring replace you two with one. Some might say that that's a good exchange.
If you're getting Gio on, I just need to get the microphone down a little bit. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Have a good week, James. Thanks,
James.
Thanks, James.
Thank you. So that's James Fudge from the MTA. We'll be speaking with him every day this week about how MACH's going and really to encourage more of you to visit. Gio, welcome to the podcast. Have you had a good day? First day, MACH 2022. I've not seen much of you. You've been doing different streams to me. What have you been handling?
I think firstly, Paul, I think that it's brilliant to be back at MACH 2022. It's been 4 years. The world's changed a lot in that time, but also the industry's changed a lot as well. It's been great to catch up with friends from the past, friends from the present, and to look at some of the new technology. But we've been busy going around the stand, catching up with people, and we've done a live stream on the Hindbook stand the last live stream of the day, which again was excellent, and they've got some new exciting products.
Well, I tell you what, whilst the tannoy is still going, which we can clearly hear, do you want to? Is Nick going to join us?
Yeah, Nick's
do you want to just
join us, so I'll go and grab Nick now,
Yep.
and I'll bring him on so we can discuss the products from the stand.
Absolutely.
Just while Gio's...
We're just going to wait for this tannoy to drop because it's a bit interrupted, and we're going to be joined now by Nick Peter from Hindbook. Now, this is one of the live streams we've been doing today. Gio's been there this afternoon with Colin and Lindsay.
I didn't realise.
Nick, welcome to the MTD
Welcome.
Podcast. Welcome to MACH 2022, the MTD stand, of course, sponsored by Interco here, this live podcast this afternoon.
Good.
Did he do a good job this afternoon on the stand?
He was all right. He was all right for a beginner. He wasn't too bad at all.
And tell us what you're doing, because there's a bit of competition going, isn't there?
Yeah, we've got a quick change challenge basically with Workholding, where we're actually getting people to come over and change a collet over to a 3-jaw chuck and then back to a collet again and put the part back in, which is proving entertaining, let's put it.
What's the best time so far?
The best time so far, which I thought would be probably about a minute or something like that, is actually down to about 15 seconds.
How many?
Joking.
15 seconds.
Wow. Do they work for Hindbook?
No, they don't actually.
They might do
And
by
it's
Friday.
not Geo either.
I was close though, Nick.
You did get close, yeah, you did get close.
On that point, how did you do, Gio? And did Lindsay have a go and did Colin have a go? And who was the fastest out of you three?
Me and Richard Turner from MCNT challenged each other, and unfortunately I did lose to Richard, but it was a last minute loss, Paul. The collet slipped, and I was on for the record. I was on for first place, but he pipped me at the post. But not sure how Colin. I don't know what his time was. I know he put a false time on there, but
well, I think the fact that he wrote his own
did you need
time
a stopwatch
down.
or a calendar?
Yeah. And actually, Gio knocked Lindsay off the bottom as well, so I don't think she's very happy about that.
Now, I've just got a big shout out to Andy Seuss at Bedford CNC, loving the live podcast. Don't forget, drop your comments into the feed wherever you're watching this. We're live now on LinkedIn, YouTube and Facebook, and will be for the next probably 20 minutes or so. We've got more guests coming up. We're on the Swarf and Chips Bar. We're in Hall 19, stand 527. You can come and join us here. We'll be here until probably 6 o'clock or after, by the looks of things and by the way things are going. Nick, for those that don't know, just give us a very brief overview of Heimbach, what you do and what they can see here if they come to MACH.
Yeah, we've bought a portion basically of our Workholding range, which is a range designed to bring Workholding into the 21st century really, with all the features that modern machine tools can use to allow them to use full speed, full feeds, full accuracy to hold jobs and produce accurate parts.
And how often are you still coming across companies that are buying expensive machinery and equipping them with, underperforming?
Too often. It happens quite regularly, to be honest.
Is it changing though?
It's changed, but we've still got people who are fitting modern machine tools with 5C collets, multi-bore collets, really, which great in their time, but they really can't handle modern speeds and feeds. And to change over, they're just a little bit clunky, really, to be honest.
Yeah. I think that I'm echo what Nick said really. I think that the machine tools are evolving and the Workholding needs to evolve with the machine tools.
Absolutely.
The same as the cutting tools as well. So we're governed really by the evolution in the machine tools.
Talking to Mike a little bit more time.
So we are governed by the evolution in the machine tools in regards to the Workholding solutions that are provided. The cutting strategies have also changed because of this. So cutting strategies now are faster feeds and speeds but lighter cuts. So we need to accommodate for that in the Workholding, and it's absolutely essential that you don't get any vibration when holding any part. But the beauty about Heimbach, in my opinion as well, it eliminates vibration, but it's that setup time reduction which is absolutely key.
You're reducing the price per piece. The more times you've got to spend changing Workholding, fiddling around with 3-jaw chucks and boring jaws, the more expensive the parts becoming all the time, because you're adding that into the price per piece. So you need your Workholding to be the right Workholding, accurate, and be able to change over to the next part quickly.
Another massive point in regards to the Workholding from Heimbach that we touched upon today. They're well renowned for their turning technology, but not so much so for their milling solutions, which we touched upon. But these milling solutions as well really lend themselves now to Industry 4.0 and automation. And people need to come to the show to find out more, because it's all interchangeable between turning solutions, milling solutions. It's a complete solution for an engineering workshop.
I couldn't echo more. When you look at that technology, it lends itself perfectly to milling. But would it be fair to say that's not necessarily what you're associated with?
I think we get associated with turning, and that's very right, absolutely correct. But the milling side, actually, once you've got all our turning things, you only need a very small couple of bits to actually turn it onto a 5-axis, 3-axis machine, or a test machine, anything.
Could you pick up that Star Sabre, Nick? Could you pick that up? Could you hold all those parts, do you think?
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you could.
And they are our sort of parts, really, to be honest.
Exactly. And how has today been for you as a company?
We've had a good day, really. We've had some fun. And enjoyed ourselves. And
you're not biking home tonight, are you? Because
I am not biking home.
You're well known for biking the streets around. Is it literally?
Yeah, I have. I've got myself a motorbike now, so it makes it even worse.
I remember when I met up with Nick. It must have been a year or two ago. He says he bikes at an average of over 20 miles an hour. Was that correct?
I've got a bit older and a bit. There's a bit on there now.
You see, Paul, come on. I can do that.
As you, Paul.
Without a helmet as well. I did hear it.
I used to ride that helmet. Yeah.
Okay, Nick, thank you very much for joining us.
No problem.
The live stream that we did on Heimbrook Stand this afternoon is available on YouTube, equally like all the live streams we've done today. So we started this morning at Hexagon MI, where the donuts are there. And then, come on, Doug. And then we were at Star GB. And then we were also streaming live at Ceratizit and then at Heimbrook this afternoon. So all those streams are on YouTube. They're on the MTDCNC website. We're here in Hall 19, stand 527. If you want to come and join us now for a drink, like the rest of these ladies and gentlemen behind us, you'd be more than welcome. And we'll be doing these podcasts every evening this week, live from 4:30. Come and join us, participate. Like another colleague, we've just joined us now, Doug from MSC. How you doing, Doug?
Really well, thanks. Really well.
Good. Now, for those that don't know yourself and MSC, could you maybe just give us a quick overview of those two things?
Yeah, so Doug Brown, Head of Marketing at MSC UK, an MSC industrial supplier nationwide, 120,000 products, specialised in metalworking, safety and MRO. Then we've got an exceptional engineering team that basically bring those products to life, offer cost savings, offer efficiencies to any manufacturing business, and then a wealth of solutions on the side of it to bring added value to a business, cost savings, control, stability, you name it, we try and do it.
Okay, now that absolutely no question. That's superb.
Thanks for joining us, Doug.
Cheers, old man.
What's MSC's message, core message here this week at MACH?
For us, it's about expecting more from an industrial supplier. For far too long, I think the industry has been seeing a supplier as very transactional. We buy widgets from you, we buy a bit of, homemaking, a bit of PPE, and that's it. It's a very transactional relationship. I think industrial suppliers have to offer more, and it's as simple as that. Businesses are faced with complex challenges. We all know that. You walk around MACH and you ask people what are they up against, and it's scary. The day-to-day operation is scary. You should expect more from every single business that you work with, because they all have a part to play. So far beyond just that transactional sale, what are they doing to help you with your skills gap? What are they helping you to do with that long-term sort of future plan of your business? It's more than just the sale of a tool, isn't it?
But with so many facets to a business and a machine shop, how do you manage all of those? How do you, you talk about all these different things where you need to become more efficient potentially. Do you have different individuals with different skill sets that all channel in to create one overall idea, package, solution?
Yeah, I think one of the great things about MSC is you've got real specialisms within the business. So you'd have an account manager, and that account manager will know who to talk to and when and why, and to bring in the best talent to make your business a little bit better. That helps. That you go away from being a generalist then to actually point and shoot in the right resource at you.
Yeah, sorry, Jay. There was a time, maybe it still happens now, I don't know, where the distribution model was the reason you bought off a distributor is because you could buy multiple brands from the same place. But like you've just said, you're far removed from that, aren't you? Yes, clearly you've got multiple agencies, but it's almost like dealing with an OEM with you.
I would say it's probably a little bit better than an OEM, of course, because I think what we offer is that independent advice. When you go to an OEM, you're going to get what an OEM wants to give you. Of course, it's their business model, but we're trying to give a little bit different to that. That unrestricted, unbiased brand advice to give you the best from our entire range, not just one type. Where else do you get that?
From my own experience, I can remember when I worked at Clementa, a company I believe that you sold a machine tool to in the past.
That was the one. That was the one.
Mr. Alan Pickering. Mr. Alan Pickering.
That was that. Unfortunately, it's no longer the company. It got took over by Symmetry, but Clementa used to do work for Rolls-Royce and Patenair back in the day, and I can remember MSC used to look after that account, and they used to have their cutting tool specialists come on site and look to reduce cycle times, for example, by introducing their product range. How has that evolved since then? I'm talking like about 11 years ago. How has that evolved, and kind of how have you enhanced that kind of experience for the clients?
Well, the first thing is probably the number of engineers is probably, fivefold than what it was probably back then. The second thing is the investment in the quality of those engineers is better than I think any other investment that we've had in the business. And then we've just launched a technology centre, so it's all well and good having engineers that can sort of chat the chat but we've got a centre now back in Wednesbury headquarters where they can go, that job you've got on that we say we can do better, well, we'll go prove that out for you.
They can walk the walk.
They can now walk the walk, and we can film it, and we can show them, and we can bring them on site, and it's great. It's really great. It's genuine partnership, and actually it's a level of transparency, because you walk them through what you're doing, you know, and you talk them through the choices that you're making around their tooling, around their strategies, and
Has
it
the
helps.
marketplace become a lot more competitive? There's similar companies to you now in the marketplace. You know, as the marketplace become more competitive, are the end users challenging you more?
I think because, again, going back to you can expect more from your industrial supplier. I think they're beginning to see what you can actually ask for. You know, I want to have help with my skills gap. I want to have help with what Brexit's doing to me still. I want to have help with how I might address reshoring. Those are really big, horrible questions for an engineering business to face. So when you get asked those as a business, you're like, yeah, well, we need to step up. And that's, again, that sort of investment in the engineers and in the business is to address those challenges.
And your technology centre that we've been to, could you tell people exactly where it is and how has it performed for you so far since its opening? Was it in November last year?
December, I think we had you guys in, yeah. So, I mean, since then we've had, I actually don't know how many customers. I'm going to stab at maybe 10 customers come in. We've done a good number of prove-outs of parts. We've been filming a load of content that you've probably already seen on our LinkedIn. We've got loads more to come out that you haven't seen. The feedback from the industry is great. You know, people say, you're an industrial supplier and you've got something like that. And it's, you know, that's a nice rewarding feature. So it's gone down well.
And you've got a lovely component. Matt's been putting it all over LinkedIn, hasn't he? And he's keeping everyone...
Matt Garbett, Technology Centre Manager.
Is it a wheel? Did I see that?
A wheel.
Was it like a
alloy wheel? So we've just done some generative manufacturing, and that was a nice big project for him to get his teeth into. First lights out as well, so you know it was a nice little milestone for us.
And a bit of a shout out to Colchester Machine Tool Solutions as well, who of course have
Colchester Builts. There's loads of them. There's a lot of good suppliers that support MSC.
Yeah. Gio, just before you say hold your question, don't forget it because I'll come to you straight at CNC Chili Man. Thanks for bringing us thousands of miles away. The feeling of being at MACH 2022. Good to hear from you. AME 3D. Sarah and Rich says hello. They're doing loads more 3D printing now. I believe we visited their company as well. Conrad Nurk, of course we all know Conrad. He's watching at the moment. Loves his new Lang system. And featuring in our new newspaper, which is our new product, our Swarf and Chips newspaper. Gio, fire away.
Something that's you've mentioned skills gap. Now, you know, we walk around MACH today, and it's quite obvious that everyone's like selling automation now because of this. They're addressing it a lot more now through automation. The skills gap. You pride yourselves on skilled engineers. Where do you get these skilled engineers from, or do you train them internally?
A lot of looking, first off. It's hard to recruit skilled engineers. We've got to be honest, it's a difficult task. But we find the good ones and then we hold on and train them as much as we can. And then in terms of, you know, that development, those engineers come in who we see the promise in, and they get heaps of training to make sure that they can, you know, be great. It's part of the culture of MSC, you know, self-development, training, leadership coaching. You know, we try and do everything to sort of push people as far as they want to go.
Doug, it's been brilliant having you on. Can you just tell people if they're coming to MACH this week where they can find you and discover some of these solutions that you're talking about?
Sure. So stand 6-3-10. We'll be obviously here all week. We've got a great number of people here and happy to have many a conversation.
If today's anything to go by, they'll have to wait in line. You're rammed.
Today has been ridiculous. So we took more leads today than we have in previous shows altogether. Wow. We've nearly run out of like most of our merch. We've had to bat people off the stand. I think at 10:30 I was ringing the sales team for more people.
What's the secret behind the success?
A great proposition, a great brand, and phenomenal people. Oh, and a big engine at the front of the stand helps as well. Yeah.
Good stuff.
You got the job. Well done.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, Doug.
Cheers, guys.
That's it. We're going to wrap this MTD Live podcast up now. We'll be back tomorrow, so we'll be live streaming all day tomorrow as well. 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Good evening, gents. Good evening. 11 o'clock, 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Then back here at 4:30 for our live podcast. We're on NCMT stand in the morning. Matsura, Hoffman. We have loads going on tomorrow. Guys, quick roundup maybe from you, Gio.
Of the day?
Yep.
I think it's been a fantastic day, long overdue, Paul. It's great to be meeting people face to face and interacting, talking to them in person rather than on Teams or by phone. So it's been really
How many
refreshing.
hands have you shaken today?
More than I've done in probably the last 2 years in one day. My hands sore, Paul.
It's gone through 2 litres of sanitizer.
Adrian and the team at Beard and Fitch, should they visit the show? Well, yes, of course. You should. The MACH 2022 show is happening here at the NEC in Birmingham. It's on all week. Tomorrow morning we'll be back streaming live from 9 o'clock. So that's it. Thank you very much for joining us, not just on this stream, but on all the other streams that we've done today. And we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.
Good night.